Up to this point in the research journey, everything you've built has been about discovering the puzzle at the center of your study. The research problem allowed you to name the tension inside a real system. The literature gap revealed what the field has not yet understood or explained. Your methodology emerged from the type of knowledge the problem required, whether the field needed meaning, pattern, or both. And your specific design sharpened that direction even further, showing whether the study must illuminate lived experience, examine relationships, investigate group differences, estimate influence, determine causality, or integrate strands of evidence. All of this work has been diagnostic. You have been identifying what is happening, what is missing, and what kind of understanding the field truly needs. Now the study shifts from diagnosis to intention. The purpose statement is the moment where the study stops being conceptual and becomes directional. It is where you declare, clearly and directly, what the study will actually do. A purpose statement always begins with a phrase that signals the intent of the study. You open with a line such as, "The purpose of this phenomenological study is to," or "The purpose of this explanatory sequential mixed method study is to." This required opening is more than academic formality. It tells the reader that you know your methodological direction, your design, and the kind of knowledge your study will generate. It is the anchor that holds your entire study in place. A strong purpose statement includes several elements that work together. It names the methodology and the full design by their formal labels. It names the aligned action verb, explore, examine, compare, determine, test, integrate, because the verb reveals the logic of the design. It names the phenomenon for qualitative studies, the key variables for quantitative work, or the distinct strands for mixed methods. It identifies the participants and the setting, making clear who and where the study involves. And it gestures, even briefly, toward why this design is needed by connecting back to the gap, the misunderstanding, or the unresolved issue the field must confront. These are not optional components. They are the structure that transforms the study from an idea into a direction. Alignment sits at the heart of the purpose statement. The purpose cannot contradict the design. It cannot drift beyond the type of knowledge the methodology produces. It must speak the language of the design. If the study is qualitative, the purpose must use verbs that reflect interpretive work. Explore, understand, describe, interpret. If the study is phenomenological, it focuses on the essence of lived experience. If it is narrative, it focuses on meaning across time. If it is a case study, it anchors the inquiry inside a bounded system. If the design is correlational, the purpose uses verbs such as examine the relationship between or determine the association. If the design is causal comparative, the purpose signals comparison between naturally existing groups. If the study is quasi-experimental, the purpose states that it will determine or evaluate the influence of an intervention without full control. If the design is experimental, the purpose states that it will test the causal effect of a condition under randomized assignment. And if the study is mixed methods, the purpose must name the timing of the design, explanatory sequential, exploratory sequential, or convergent, and the verbs must signal integration such as explain, connect, or build. Misaligned verbs break the internal logic of the study. The purpose must be written in the grammar of the design. Each methodology also carries specific requirements that the purpose statement must honor. In qualitative research, the purpose must identify the central phenomenon being explored. It must name the design directly, identify the participants and setting, and use language that fits interpretive inquiry. In quantitative studies, the purpose must identify the key variables and their roles: independent variables, dependent variables, predictors, mediators, moderators, or outcomes. It must name the design and use direct, analytical verbs. And in mixed method studies, the purpose statement must name the two strands, the priority or weight of each strand, and the timing of the design. It must also provide a brief rationale for mixing the methods, explaining results, building from one phase to the next, or integrating complementary perspectives. Cresswell also notes that mixed methods purpose statements should gesture toward the philosophical worldview guiding the design, often pragmatism, because mixed methods research is inherently driven by practical need. The structure of a strong purpose statement varies slightly across methodologies, but the logic remains the same. A phenomenological purpose might say, the purpose of this phenomenological study is to explore the lived experiences of first-year teachers navigating instructional redesign in urban middle schools. This opening makes clear that the study is phenomenological, which sets the expectation for what kind of data and insights will emerge. Phenomenology, as a design, focuses on exploring the essence of lived experiences, so it's crucial to name the methodology up front. This shows that the study isn't about predicting outcomes or testing hypotheses. It's about understanding how individuals experience and make meaning of a phenomenon. The verb explore is a direct alignment with the phenomenological method, which doesn't seek to measure, control, or manipulate anything. Instead, it seeks to understand and interpret. The word explore signals that the researcher will investigate how the phenomenon is experienced by participants, here teachers, and will do so with an open, interpretive approach. Other verbs like describe or understand could also work, but explore is widely used in phenomenology because it conveys a sense of discovery, not prescription. This phrase is key in phenomenology. It names the phenomenon that the study will investigate, the lived experience. Phenomenology is rooted in understanding the subjective, personal experiences of individuals as they navigate or make sense of the world. In this case, it's the experiences of first-year teachers navigating a specific change, instructional redesign. The phrase lived experiences ensures the focus stays on participants' subjective understanding of their challenges, successes, and reflections. Without this, the study might accidentally shift into a different design like quantitative or causal comparative. Here, the participants are identified. In phenomenology, participants are often selected because they are actively experiencing the phenomenon in question. This is why it's essential to name who will be involved and why they are important. In this example, the participants are first-year teachers, a group whose experiences are likely to be rich with the challenges, adaptations, and insights that come with early teaching years. The focus is on their personal experiences with instructional redesign, which gives the study both specificity and depth. This part of the sentence identifies the phenomenon being explored. Instructional redesign. Phenomenology asks, what is it like to experience a specific phenomenon? So it's vital to clearly define what that phenomenon is. In this case, the phenomenon is instructional redesign, a complex process that could involve curriculum changes, new teaching methods, or shifts in pedagogical approaches. By naming it specifically, the study focuses on understanding how teachers experience the change and how it impacts them personally. It's not about measuring the success or failure of instructional redesign as a policy, but about exploring its human impact. Finally, the setting is specified. In phenomenology, context matters. It helps define the nature of the experience. The phrase in urban middle schools indicates where the phenomenon is being explored. The setting shapes the experience of the phenomenon, so by naming the setting, the purpose statement grounds the study in a real-world context. The experience of first-year teachers in urban middle schools will likely differ from teachers in suburban or rural schools, due to unique challenges such as resource constraints, demographic differences, and school culture. This context adds another layer of meaning to the study. Every element of this purpose statement is aligned with the phenomenological method and reflects the essential goal of phenomenology, to explore the lived experience of participants. Each part of the statement, the design, the verb, the phenomenon, the participants, the setting, works together to reveal how first-year teachers make sense of instructional redesign in their specific context. There's no attempt to test hypotheses, measure outcomes, or compare groups. Instead, the study seeks understanding, an exploration of the meaning behind teachers' lived experiences. A correlational purpose might state, the purpose of this correlational study is to examine the relationship between teacher self-efficacy and student engagement in high school science classrooms. This opening makes it explicit that the study is correlational, which is essential. Correlational studies are designed to examine relationships between variables, not to test causality or explain phenomena in depth. By naming correlational study, we immediately know that the study will focus on associations between variables, not on causal mechanisms or interventions. The design is clearly stated because the methodology, quantitative, and design, correlational, directly shape the type of data collected and the analyses that will follow. The verb examine is chosen because it directly reflects the purpose of a correlational design, which is about exploring the relationship between two or more variables. Examine signals that the study will look at the degree to which two variables are related, but will not make claims about causality. Other verbs like explore or analyze could also work in a correlational study, but examine is preferred here as it emphasizes the study's aim to investigate a relationship in a more formal, structured way. In correlational research, the central task is to examine how two variables are related. This phrase clearly names the core purpose of a correlational study: relationship. This signals to the reader that the study will focus on patterns of association between variables, not the individual effects of each variable. The goal is to understand the strength, direction, and significance of the relationship, not to explain why or how one variable might cause changes in the other. Here, the variables are named: teacher self-efficacy and student engagement. In a correlational study, it's important to identify the specific variables being studied and their relationship. Each of these variables is measured, not manipulated, in terms of its strength or direction of association with the other. Teacher self-efficacy refers to a teacher's belief in their ability to affect student learning outcomes. Student engagement refers to the level of interest, attention, and effort students put into their learning. The relationship being examined could be: does a teacher's belief in their ability influence how engaged students are in class? Or, does engagement depend on how confident teachers feel about their impact? This relationship is what the study seeks to explore. Finally, the setting of the study is specified: high school science classrooms. The setting is crucial because the relationship between variables like teacher self-efficacy and student engagement might differ depending on the context. By naming the setting, we know that this study is focused on high school science education, not other subjects or grade levels. In correlational studies, context shapes the relationship and can help identify whether the association between the variables is generalizable or context-dependent. Each element of this purpose statement aligns with the core principles of a correlational study. The design is named up front, so it's clear that the study is about examining relationships, not testing cause and effect or explaining individual phenomena. The verb examine signals that the study will look at how the variables relate to one another. The variables are specifically identified: teacher self-efficacy and student engagement, showing what the study will measure and analyze. The relationship between these variables is the key focus. The purpose is to uncover the strength, direction, and significance of their association. The setting of the study, high school science classrooms, grounds the research in a specific context, clarifying where the relationship will be explored. This is precisely how a correlational purpose statement should be written, ensuring that the research is focused on examining associations, and that the study is aligned with the design's principles. A quasi-experimental purpose might read: the purpose of this quasi-experimental study is to determine the influence of a digital feedback intervention on writing achievement among 9th grade students. And an explanatory sequential mixed methods purpose statement might say: the purpose of this explanatory sequential mixed methods study is to examine patterns of student persistence through quantitative analysis, and then explain those patterns through qualitative interviews. These are not templates. They are natural consequences of methodological alignment. It is crucial to understand why the purpose statement cannot come earlier. Writing a purpose statement before identifying the problem, the gap, the methodology, and the design guarantees misalignment. The verbs may not fit the design. The questions may not match the purpose. The data collection may not answer the questions. And committees or peer reviewers will send the study back to be rewritten, because the study does not hold together. The purpose statement can only be written after the design is chosen, because it is the declaration that expresses that design in action. The purpose statement also functions as a contract with the reader. It commits the study to a precise direction. It clarifies the type of knowledge the study will produce. It draws the boundary around what the study will and will not attempt to do. It protects the researcher from scope creep and keeps the study aligned from beginning to end. Everything that follows, research questions, sampling decisions, data sources, analytic procedures, must reflect the commitment made in the purpose statement. It is the anchor that keeps the study coherent. Understanding what not to do is equally important. A phenomenological study cannot have a purpose that says it will predict or measure. A correlational study cannot have a purpose that says it will explore lived experience. A mixed methods purpose statement cannot omit the timing or priority of the strands. And a purpose statement must never try to do everything at once. Statements that claim they will explore, measure, compare, test, and explain all in one sentence are not aligned. They are unfocused. A purpose statement should do one thing well: declare the core action of the study that matches the design. At its heart, the purpose statement is more than a methodological requirement. It is the moment where the researcher claims what they are giving back to the world. It declares what will be illuminated. It honors the individuals, systems, or patterns at the center of the research. It names the knowledge that will support future decisions, deepen understanding, or open new pathways for practice. The purpose statement is not just a sentence, it is the heartbeat of the study. With the purpose now defined, the study is ready to move into the next step: the research questions. Research questions are not created separately from the purpose. They are the purpose divided into answerable parts. The verbs will match. The structure will reflect the design. The questions will extend directly from the direction declared in the purpose statement. The purpose provides the intention. The research questions provide the shape.